Think about a dish you used to obsess over, something you've eaten so many times that it lost that magic for you. The pathways in your brain pertaining to sensations recorded when eating that food are now so strongly embedded that there is no more pleasure. The novelty effect is gone, and perhaps you've even grown wary of that taste. That's the same thing that happens when we listen to a song too many times, but a song cannot change, whereas recipes can. Imagine stumbling upon a restaurant that offers your formerly beloved dish, but with some kind of twist. You're hesitant, but you decide to try it. To your utter delight, not only is every single ingredient of prime quality and culinary step in the process done to perfection, but the chef has managed to insert some new ingredients and concoct some new tricks to make the final result feel familiar, but at the same time different. And not only different, but much better. You feel like you want to share the feelings of excitement and gratification caused by this new gastronomic experience with everyone else, and that's what I want to do with you. Fret not, you didn't click on a food-related video by mistake. What I'm trying to say is that Late Night with the Devil is exactly like a new interpretation of an old recipe that breaks the mold and makes you feel as overjoyed as the first time you tried. It feels familiar, but fresh at the same time. On the surface, the film's premise is fairly simple. A famous TV host with some sizable skeletons in the closet is obsessed with achieving the top spot in ratings for his show after spending years as the runner-up to The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. After leaving the spotlight and halting the show's production to deal with the devastating loss of his wife Madeline due to cancer, he returns in 1977 with a Halloween special episode centered on the occult, hoping that his guest will cause enough controversy and sensation to finally win him the ratings competition. Unfortunately, his selfishness will bring about frightening unforeseen consequences, and they will be witnessed by millions on live TV. As with other films I've reviewed, it's always hard to pinpoint exactly what makes one special. Given that I spend more time than the average viewer in analyzing feature films and extrapolate what works and what doesn't, I've often find that the best ones tend to do several things right, and the superior viewing experience emerges organically from the aggregate of these elements. In other, perhaps trite words, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. This is undoubtedly what's happening below the surface of Late Night with the Devil. From a purely horror genre standpoint, it is a demonic possession film that takes a few tropes from most other demonic possession films that came before, employs them all with mastery by twisting them on their heads, and adds a few new elements that enrich the experience. But that's not all. It is seasoned with an acting A-game by the entire core cast, with Laura Gordon conveying a very convincing blend of professionalism and maternal empathy as June Ross Mitchell, the possessed girl's entrusted parapsychologist and caregiver, Ian Bliss as the clever but pompous and cynical fake-sensitive third paranormal debunker Carmichael Haig, Faisal Bazi as the theatrical but truly gifted medium Christou, Georgina Haig as the loving and terminally ill protagonist's wife Madeline Piper, Rhys O'Terry as the goofy but honest and trustworthy TV sidekick Gus McConnell, and Josh Kwong Tart as the jaded night owls with Jack Darroy show producer Leo Fisk. The list would not be complete without mentioning the great narrating voice provided by the ever-charismatic Michael Ironside. The true shining performances, though, are Ingrid Torelli as the possessed girl Lily, and of course, David Dastmalchian as the protagonist Jack Darroy. I was really impressed by Ingrid Torelli because there are glimpses of bone-chilling lunacy and malevolence in the cracks of her seemingly innocent smiles. Seriously, I urge you to watch when her character is introduced. I felt truly unnerved. She managed to portray a character with constant, subtle shifts as to who is maneuvering inside her head. As to David Dastmalchian, he gifted us with a masterful interpretation as a complex and nuanced individual, incessantly tiptoeing the morally grey area between integrity and ambition, showmanship and ingenuity, grief and self-importance. Jack Darrow is a character that the viewer can empathize and also sympathize with because he is suave but deeply conflicted. He is a great protagonist to be emotionally invested in because he brilliantly embodies some very human flaws. All I can say is, A, why did it take Hollywood and the industry in general so long to truly invest in such a mature and versatile actor? And B, to the cost of stating the obvious, this is the proper, long-due vehicle for David Dastmalchian to shine, and I hope it will ignite an even brighter artistic future for him. Continuing with our culinary metaphor, if acting is seasoning, then the script and direction would be the preparation and cooking. I believe it's here that lies the true magic of this film. We've often seen other motion pictures with great acting performances and commitment going to waste because of bad scripts and a shaky direction. We as consumers also know by now that those things are often a consequence of excessive meddling by the studios. Luckily, the film under scrutiny qualifies with flying colors as an independent one, and it's written, directed and edited by brothers Colin and Cameron Carnes. I am not familiar with their previous work, but here they are in full creative control, and they display an extraordinary sense of pace and storytelling. Like many other reviewers said before me, this is one of those rare films where after you decide to push the play button, you will not be able to stop watching and will not experience a single moment of boredom. Such an effect is achieved only by trimming off anything unnecessary, and at 93 minutes duration, Late Night with the Devil sports one of the tightest ships I've ever experienced storytelling-wise. Not only that, but the structure is perfect. Every single plot point feels natural, and a lot of minor details are so cleverly placed that you'll crave a second viewing to spot anything you might have missed. But what would stories be without a good beginning, a captivating middle point, and a great ending? In my opinion, they are all here, with the added bonus of most exposition provided at the beginning through a smart storytelling device that doesn't bore the viewer, and an ending that is very satisfying but does not spoon-feed all the explanations, leaving you wanting for more. An excellent gourmet dish cannot rely only on seasoning, preparation, and cooking. It must also entice the eyes with creative and beautiful plating. For those of you who, like me, revel in craftsmanship and details, there is plenty to love in the meticulous production design, which creates a faithful and fanciful 70s ambience, with beautiful costumes, the fictional TV stage arrangement, the emulation of video camera tubes from that period, and down to the mannerisms of the TV host. I cannot recommend you this movie enough, and I believe it is already a strong contender for Best Horror Film of 2024 and vying for a big chunk of admirers in the horror community. Late Night with the Devil is currently available on Shudder and AMC Plus with a subscription and on all major platforms for rent. If you would like to watch another great film after this one, I recommend checking out my review of Deadstream right here. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think about this film in the comments. I wish you a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one.